What's going on, guys? You are watching DIY Irrigation Guy, connecting contractors and ambitious DIYers together. So we just finished up an install here. As you can see, not too bad. Everything went really well. All the lines are nice and flat, flush with the rest of the yard. You can barely tell we installed it. We did install MP rotators on this yard again. I know on the last job you saw us, we did put a job that we put all MPs on the property. Same thing with this project. We installed all MPs, but here is a job that we did do that the homeowner wanted a drip irrigation system. So I'm going to show you before I backfill. I left everything exposed so you can see how to install a drip irrigation system to your existing sprinkler system or the garden hose spigot. Okay, so let's take a look at it. So as you can see, this homeowner has a relatively small garden. There's not a lot to it, so we are running this off of one zone. Here's our existing system. Here's our main line. There's a valve box that we just finished and put some seed down. But anyways, main line comes. And here's what you've got. And you can do this to any existing system. You just need to make sure that you have enough wiring at your valve box and at your control panel in your garage or wherever your control panel is mounted. This here is your main line, which usually feeds with your sprinkler wire. Okay, we've installed 100 PGV valve. Okay, and if you go to your local landscape supply company, you can find these, you guys. But after let me back up. Your water from your house is going to be coming out at about 75 to 85 pounds of pressure. By the time it reaches your spigot, it's going to hit about 65 to 60 pounds of pressure, okay? In order for a drip irrigation system for your landscaping or your garden, you need to make sure to reduce the pressure down to 40 pounds of pressure, 40 psi. The reason is so that the emitters are working properly and that the pressure isn't too much on the emitters. And when I say emitters, you guys, it's those little tiny holes that you can see in the tubing. In order for that to work, again, you need to get it down to 40 psi of pressure. So how do you reduce the pressure if your sprinkler system is operating between 50 to 70 pounds of pressure? Well, after your valve, you need to install a pressure regulated valve with a filter. The reason you need a filter is so that any debris that is coming through here and passes through your tubing and goes through your tubing, it doesn't clog your emitters. That's what this is. You unscrew this just like so. As you unscrew it, you want to replace that filter every couple years. This here is your pressure reducer. Make sure you pay attention to the direction of flow on each device, your filter and your reducer. As it goes through your drip tubing, we have actually plugged the emitters here because that's not going to be in the garden area and we don't want water coming out of those tubings, or excuse me, those emitters, not tubings. And here you can see the tubing. We just kind of wrapped it in a manner in which as he tills, he can make rows of whatever he decides to, asparagus, tomatoes, such. And at the end of your run, you just put one of these little figure eights, okay? Slide one in first. And then as you slide one in first, you kink it. And then if your figure eight was up here, you slide it back down in. And that's all it do. Okay, so I want to show you guys. Brennan, is the water on at the backflow? Will you go turn that on real quick so I can show them? Okay, so Brennan is going to go to the master valve and open up the water supply for us so that we can turn this on for the first time and see what this looks like. So as you can tell, the box that we're using is much larger than your standard valve box for a turf zone. The reason is because of your filter. If you are going to have to replace your filter, make sure that you get plenty big enough of a box so that you have plenty of space to work in here and unscrew your filter and replace it. This is going to give me or the homeowner plenty of room to work inside here come, you know, time necessary to do so. So we're going to go ahead and open up this bleed screw and take a look at the emitters. As you can see, everything looks like it's working really, really well. Really, really nice. I don't know, maybe you can see that one more time. So you can see it's just putting out. And eventually, as this waters the soil, the water droplets will expand and get larger. But for the sake of it, we're going to go ahead and get out of here because we've had a long day. So make sure you check out my Patreon account. On that account, I'm going to show you how to plan your system, how to pull the pipe to your system so that you're not killing yourself trying to install a system. It's easy to understand how a system works, but getting out there with a pipe puller and pulling the pipe in the ground to make sure that you guys are doing a good job, you know, making it easy on yourself. If you're a weekend doer, it's going to give you the ability to get that system done in a weekend. And if you're a contractor, it's going to save you a bunch of labor and time, money, when your guys are out there. They're going to thank you for it if you have someone on your team or yourself knows how to pull the pipe to a sprinkler system. So make sure you check out that account, my Patreon account. It's going to have a lot of helpful information for you guys. So, all right, till next time.